Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for chair yoga. Let's start in the chair. And if you have a block to use, let's use it at the back body, right between your shoulder blades. If you don't have the use of a block, you don't need to worry about a thing. You'll manage just fine without it. Sit in the way that you are kind of coming back into the, into the chair fairly well, but try, for those of you who are not using a block, don't use the backrest at all. Just sit up real tall and feel kind of an expansion through the front body. Those of you who do have the block, that block is going to give you this opportunity to really find a gentle supported back bend. Back bend translates into open front body. So we'll just start with that. Make sure your feet feel parallel to one another so that you're particular about how your feet are situated on the floor here. Yeah, and then just kind of allow your awareness as you gently close down your eyes here to start with the soles of the feet and work your way up gently, no judgment, just feeling your way through your body, feeling how your ankles are now, feel a little more engaged because you're feeling your feet to the ground, and you have some awareness of the shins of your legs and into the calves, and just bringing yourself up gently through the knees and into your thighs and into the low belly, hips, buttocks. Just that, a scanning of the body, aware of your body up into your chest, your whole rib cage area. Of course, both of your arms, even your hands, feeling your neck, front and back. And then feeling this expansion that the block has provided. Or again, if you're not using a block, just the expansion that this mindful sitting up tall and proper gives you in this opening posture for our yoga class. Eyes are closed so that we can really feel from the inside out. We can be aware from the inside out of our experience. We all day long, every day, we're naturally responding to the external, to the world outside of our body. That's our primary focus. And we do it, of course, from our mind's point of view. So this is our typical experience of life is a connection of our mind to the external world. Nope, can't argue with that. That's how it is. So yoga gives us this rare opportunity, this helpful time out from that to come inside, to feel this internal awareness, and to really experience ourselves from the body's perspective. And we try to a little bit tamp down the mind in its thought process and its judgments and its figuring stuff out. We kind of try to allow that to tamp down so that instead we're relying on our sensation. It's a somatic experience. Yoga is a somatic experience. And you can barely put words to that in terms of how beneficial it is. And I think what we can all agree on, it's just something that over time, when you practice this time in and time out, you all of a sudden just realize how beneficial it is to change that perspective from the mind into the body, and that there is this communication that goes on that I would say, my language anyway, you might choose something else, that's where we have introduced ourselves back into the soul. So find that breath now, feeling how you are breathing in and out, and you're just noticing it to the point where before long, you can feel that you are cooperating with it. You're part of that breath process. But don't rush that. Just noticing the breath, trying to find its full expression. So you're trying to notice the breath all the way as you draw that breath in, and notice the breath as it goes out all the way. And without trying to force anything, before long, that breath awareness brings you into a sort of breath participation. Eyes are closed. Just remain closed if you can, if you're comfortable with that. So you can stay with this inner awareness now of breathing moving through your body. I'm going to go back to Deepak Chopra's teaching about the 4 primary intentions of yoga, of doing yoga: a vibrant and healthy body, alert and focused mind, loving and compassionate heart, lightness of being. Today, we're going to work on that very first one, vibrant and healthy body. We're going to do that by way of core strength. So now let's add to the mix, pulling in your belly, right around the belly button area, so that navel space. Pull in there just so it feels real engaged, like you're trying to just really get skinny. You're just pulling in your abdominal wall, and you're trying to feel that experience of just sort of getting skinny through the belly. And that's going to engage your primary core muscles. There's many more, but that's a good place to start. And pull it in and keep it in as much as you can throughout the practice. We'll change the tone of that here and there. You'll hear some words from me about that. But just for a backdrop, knowing that this is a core strengthening class, we're going to just kind of use that as our fallback, that you're going to kind of try to keep your belly pulled in as a way of just, always using the core strength. Relax your shoulders now. Relax your shoulders. Soften your hands. Relax your facial muscles. You're going to learn, we learn in yoga, don't we, that we can turn on some things, like the belly can be really engaged and strong. And that doesn't mean we have to keep our fists tight and we have to clench our teeth. That we can soften where we can and relax. And then other parts of the body can be quite engaged in the effort of a vibrant, healthy body. So see if you can find, I always call that's the balance between ease and effort. Where we know there is part of us we can soften right now, and there's part of us that is engaged and strong. Let's find a full breath coming in. Just take that inhale till it's all the way in. You can't draw any more breath in. Take that little pause that almost always shows up, and then exhale it out. Eyes are closed. Let's turn palms up on our lap. Turn your palms facing up. And then just notice that little shift when all of a sudden you can feel the air on your palms, so you feel open. That's the mudra. It's a favorite one of mine. Open to receive. Now I've chosen that intention for our class in a broad stroke, that this is a class for core strength by way of vibrant and healthy body. That we're going to foster a vibrant and healthy body by way of core strengthening. But I want you to chime in for yourself, just eyes closed and having that inner dialogue, what it is that you need from today's experience of yoga. Set your particular intention. Notice your shoulder blades pulling back and down, maybe into the block. Full breath comes in, full breath goes out. Good. Now let's take a big inhale through the nose and then exhale it out of the mouth like a sound of ah. That's our cleansing breath. Inhale through the nose, big breath in. Exhale out of the mouth. Ah. One more. Inhale through the nose, all the way in. Exhale, clean it out. Ah. Beautiful. Let's flutter the eyes open. Get your eyes open gently, quietly. And then we're going to bring that block out from behind us and bring it on the floor. If you don't have a block, don't worry. It's not a big thing. It's just a handy little tool. And if you decide that this is something you want to keep participating in, you could pick them up at Walmart or any place online, I'm sure. So just bringing your block between your ankles. So the block is on the floor and you've got it between your ankles. You don't want to use the backrest of your chair. You want to be forward of that so that you're sitting up tall with your own core strength. We're going to begin with just some gentle folds forward and back. Just try to keep the belly engaged, pulling forward and back. So you don't want your head to get out in front. Now I'm going to turn to the side. You don't need to do this at all, but I want you to be able to see it in case you're confused by what I'm asking. So we're just forward and back. Elbows are squeezed into the waist. Belly is engaged. We're pulling in. We're trying to be feeling that action of the abdominal wall right there at the navel area. Now, the next time you're forward, squeeze those elbows in and just find yourself in this angle, in this, halfway mark, maybe between forward all the way down and all the way up. You're somewhere in between in that maybe 45-degree angle. And just squeeze into the block with your feet. Feel your ankles into the block, and you feel your belly pulling in and up. Keep your chin pulling in towards your throat so your face doesn't get ahead of you. And that's kind of sounds like a little joke, but it's like we want to keep the back of the head, the neck, and spine in alignment. We don't want the head to thrust forward of the body. Now let's go slow now as we bring ourselves slowly, slowly, slowly into a complete fold where we're bringing our chest down into the thighs. Release your hands now to reach to the floor and drop your head. So you're going to surrender the weight of your head. Keep your eyes open and look underneath the chair. So you should feel your whole upper body laying down on your thighs. Now just find your breath so you can feel that interaction of the belly and the thighs. And if you can't feel it right away, try to get bigger with your breath so then it shows up. You can feel that. Big belly breath. And that's what we're doing on purpose. So exaggerate it. Surrender the weight of your head. Don't look up. You don't need to look at the screen. You just hang out here. Let your head be heavy. That'll give your neck a nice break. And in the meantime, we're folding into ourselves, which you know what it does? It calms the nervous system. Let's jump our hands onto our thighs, squeeze those elbows in, and kind of see if we can find that same place we started from, where we have that diagonal angle, our halfway mark. We're coming all the way back up to our original starting place. Beautiful. Let's sync up the breath. Inhale up, palms are going to come together up and overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, bow into yourself. Inhale up, and exhale, go wide. Arms are alongside the chair's frame, and then start pulling back so you're arching through the back body. This is the cow pose. This is the extension of the spine. Again, I'm going to give a side view because we have a newcomer here today. So we want to, oh, the black doesn't work all that great, does it? But we're arching the back body, keeping your head neutral, breathing in and out. For now, we're just feeling that first big extension of the spine. And on your next exhale, we'll round the back body, drawing the chin down toward the chest and feel the roundness, the C-shaped curve. And don't look at the screen, just see if you can just tuck your chin in and round through the back body. Then we do this as a vinyasa. Vinyasa means we connect our breath to the movement. So we're coming back up for our inhale, arching the back body in the cow pose. Exhaling, rounding through. And then finding your own rhythm, the rhythm of your breath. So you don't need to be the pace that you see me doing. You're finding the pace that works for your breath. The length of your inhale, the length of your exhale. Arms just kind of stay snug to the chair's frame. Don't get them too wide. Now you keep moving because repetition is never a bad thing. I want you to keep moving. I want to introduce some information to you. The movement of the arms really affects the back. So if you're having a strain in the back at all, are just tender back there. And today you're participating and you want to figure out how you might modify, change it so that you're not using your arms. So if your back is a little bit touchy, a little bit strained, take the arms out of the picture on almost every pose. So if you see me sticking hands way up, but you know that that's not good for you today, remember, just make that connection. The arms outstretched, up or out, affects your back. So maybe you'll need to take that out of the picture sometimes, because that's the self-care you need. That's the adjustment that you need for your particular day. So just making that connection, arms and the back. Let's come to a neutral position. And again, if you can, we're lifting up, palms are coming together. Look up now. Let's breathe in and out. Look to the ceiling if that's okay with your neck. Arms like alongside your ear would be ideal. Instead of alongside your face, that we're trying to pull that back so they're more in line with our ears, that would be ideal. Let's sync up our exhale now as we bring our hands into the heart space and we bow into ourselves. Inhale up and exhale wide. Good. We're going to move the block under the chair or just away from us right now so it's not in our way. And I'm going to suggest you all do this. We're going to kind of wander over to the side so that we've got, the reason for this is that we're going to need to move back and forward, and the back of the chair might get in the way. So we're all coming to the side position. It's still in this right angle for now. We've got our legs in a right angle, knees line up right over the ankles. And we're going to come back, tilt back. Hands are pressing into the thighs. Now pull that belly in, get activated through the abdominal area. And then try, again, extending one arm at a time. Let's try that. One arm at a time extends away from the lap. And switch when you're ready. We've created this angle, this diagonal angle now by leaning back. Keep your head, neck, and spine in alignment as best as you can. And then you might try lifting one leg up. One leg comes up off the floor. You got a bent knee lifted up. Let's add the opposite hand. So I've got my right knee up. I'm letting the left hand reach forward. Pull the belly in. This is called boat pose, by the way. Variations of that. Let's come back to neutral. The other knee lifts up. So I've got left knee up. Hold that. Pull the belly in. Find your breath. And if you want to, you can add the layer or the little challenge of the opposite arm. Right arm reaches out. Full breath in and out as we pull the belly in. Now let's try that as come back to our neutral position and fold forward. That might give us some relief in the back. So we fold forward all the way down, laying our chest and belly right down into our thighs, eyes wide open. We look underneath ourselves. Remember, if it fits better for your body to fold into yourself like this by spreading your legs apart, I get that. Absolutely, that works. But you got to make sure you move your feet and your knees at the same time. You're not going to try to keep your feet together and just splay your knees out. Let your feet move with your knees so that your ankles are in line with your knees. Keep your eyes wide open. Look down and under yourself. You're not trying to hold your head up. As a matter of fact, you're trying not to hold your head up. You're trying to allow your head to hang, to give it some traction. Now, belly breaths. We want belly breaths. Let's jump our hands to our thighs. Squeeze your elbows into your waist and come back up. We're going to go back to that boat pose. So we're going to lean back. I'm lifting right knee up. I'm going to interlace hands underneath that thigh, leaning back, pull the belly in. Now let's extend that foot straight out and start moving that foot around. We're leaning back, extending that leg as straight as you can. Move your foot around so you're waking up all the joints of the feet, and particularly your ankle joint. Now, Let's come to neutral. Neutral looks like this. We've got the knee bent, but we do not have the foot on the floor. Let's try both hands. See if you can release both hands forward. Turn palms up. Back to that mudra of receptivity. Pull the belly in. And we're coming back to neutral. So you're taking that angle back out of yourself. So you're bringing yourself into a neutral position. I want you to roll through some cow and cats. You can do it real simple here. Just start rounding through the back body and rolling your shoulders back so you feel that extension. So just some gentle cow cat moves to reset the body. Back to neutral. Neutral is just the right angle of our body here. And then we start leaning back. We're going to lift up the left knee and interlace hands underneath that thigh. It's nice. It gives you some leverage, doesn't it? And then extend that leg straight out. Push through the sole of your foot so there's no bend in the knee. And we're going to start rolling that foot around. You're trying to get as much movement in your ankle, your feet, your toes. Just move it around. Try not to stare at the screen. You've got it. Pay attention to your body, holding your leg up, and your body, your whole trunk of your body from your hips to your shoulders, let's say, that's at an angle. And that's requiring a lot of core engagement. Spin it around. Now, to neutralize, that means we're going to bend that knee and it's high up. Foot is way up off the floor, right? Let's release both hands. See if we can turn palms up now. Finding that angle of the back body, tuck your chin in towards your throat, full breath in and out, pull the belly in, relax your shoulders, finding that balance between ease and effort. Hands coming back to the leg, that just seems to give more leverage, doesn't it? Come back to a neutral position and round through that cat and the cow, reset the body. Let's just stay in this position. This is kind of handy. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to stay in this position. I'm going to say that because I want you to be able to glance up and see me. But if you would rather square yourself to the screen and have it look forward to that's no problem, because it's doesn't have anything to do with how the back of the chair is interfering here. We're going to come into that chair posture. Remember that one where we hover our bottom up off of the chair seat and come back down? What I'm thinking is that if you were having difficulty getting yourself up, I wanted to show you ways that you could still stay steady with your hands on the chair so you could still participate. Now, here's where we're using core strength that comes from the inner thighs. It's not just belly muscles that support the core. Those thighs do too. The legs do in general. But see if you can play with that. You don't have to use your hands on the chair. I just wanted to offer that as a variation if you're needing extra support. So we're just moving through, shifting our body weight. So our bottom is now hovering above the chair seat. And we're still kind of mindful of how this neck, spine, back align, Let's hold it now. Hover and hold. Press your feet down, the whole surface of your feet. A lot of weight is in the heel. I'll grant you that. That's helpful because it takes weight off your knees. But I want your whole foot to feel like it's part of what's holding you up. Now slowly, slowly, slowly come up. Straighten the legs up. Straighten those legs. Pull the belly in. Inhale up. Palms are together up and overhead. Exhale, heart. We bow into ourselves. Inhale up. We're going back into the chair pose. So as we exhale, we're coming down to the seat of the chair. I extended arms because I wanted to strengthen my back. You might have said, no, I'm going to have my hands gliding me down by using the chair. Let's try that again. We'll come back to our neutral position. Catch up with your breath. We're going to hover ourselves above the mat, above the chair, in that chair posture. Kind of squeeze your thighs toward the midline. I've got palms together at my heart, just seem to be the natural place. Pull the belly in. Now we're coming up, 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 straightening up. Inhale up, reaching those hands up above the head. Exhale, hands to your heart. Legs are straight now. Inhale up. Exhale, we're coming back into the chair, all the way slowly bringing our bottom back to the chair seat. Nice. And back to our neutral position. Palms are together at the heart. Let's just hold that. Full breath in and out. Palms come to the thighs. We're going to do the next move we're going to do is what's called abdominal bracing. So it's simply that you're pressing your hands into your thighs, and then you're still activating your legs like you're trying to lift your feet up. You're trying to lift your thighs up and away. So it's like you were trying to do this. You're trying to lift both feet up and get your thighs up, but your hands are pressing down so they can't. So the legs are pushing into your hands and your hands are pushing against the legs. And there's that tension, that interaction. I've got my heels up off the floor. That's how I do it. I lift my heels up off the floor, toes are down, and I'm pressing. That's all there is to it. This is abdominal bracing. It gets the very low belly wall. Now let's find our breath. It's like you're really trying to push your legs down and your legs are not having it. Your legs are not coming down, but you've got that tension. One more full breath, in and out. Good, now drop your heels and bring yourself back to neutral. Anything now that your body might need to release. I'm feeling the need to kind of round through that low back. Try to relieve some tension that gathered in the low back area. So I'm doing those cat movements, but anything your body is asking for, that's what you're going to follow. Good. Let's come back to neutral and extend your feet out and away. Now, usually we've got them tucked under so that our knees line up with our ankles. I want you to pull your ankles out front so you're getting your feet out in front. I'm finding I kind of need to be on the side a lot just so you can see me better, but you don't need to do that. So feet have come forward. Let's just glide down. Use your hands to glide down yourself all the way down, slide it down, and lay down onto your thighs. Try rocking your fingertips away from the toes. I got my foot up. So it's a real extension of the arms. So again, if you've got back issues, you would not be doing that because your arms are stretching your back. For those of us who want to be stretching the back, it's not a problem at all. Then that's what you're doing. Walking those fingers way in front of the toes. Now manage the weight of your head. You don't need to look at your hands. You could be looking down and under. You don't need to look at your hands. That's going to strain your neck. For most of us, that's going to cause a bit of a strain. Hands are coming back to the legs. We're gliding ourselves up. Now, here's where I want you to go slow. Round through the whole back body like you've got the cat pose going on. So you're coming up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Chin is really tucked. Your chin is really tucked so that you can bring your neck into its neutral position as the very last movement head comes up. Let's take a pause. Full breath in and out. Catch up with your breathing. We'll do that one more time. When you're ready, it starts by sliding your hands down your legs. Your body's folding slowly but surely. And then you're going to lay yourself down into your thighs, look down and under, keep your eyes open. Walk your fingertips in front of your toes if you can, so you feel a stretch through the latissimus dorsi. That's that big, thick muscle underneath your armpit that wraps around your back. Walking your fingertips way out in front of your toes. Keep your feet really grounded. Full breath in and out. And your full breath in and out brings you to your body. It brings you to the experience you're feeling. So where are you getting feedback? That's what your body wants. It wants you to pay attention to the feedback. And the pay attention just means notice. Breathe through it. Most of the time, I guess I always have to modify that. Bring your hands back to your feet and start making your way up. Now we're rounding the back like crazy. We're finding the cat pose. So as we come back to a neutral position, we've slowly now rounded our way up. The head's the last to come up. And finally, we bring ourselves back to our neutral position. Beautiful. Inhale with me, up, palms come together, up and overhead. Look up if that's okay for your neck. Exhale, hands to your heart. We bow into ourselves. Inhale up. Exhale, twist. We're going to bring both hands over to the right side of the chair. I want you to do some individual shoulder rolls. So again, for the newcomers, I want you to just one shoulder at a time is doing this. But you're doing that from this side angle. We turned our body into this rotation, so we're twisting. We want to keep our feet hips distance apart. So if you're finding your knees are trying to knock or they want to splay apart, see if you can activate your legs in such a way that you've got space between your ankles and between your knees, and you're just keeping your feet in place by efforting. So we're rolling that shoulder back. And once we feel like that's kind of well practiced, see if you can actually sit on your hand where you scoot your hand underneath you, palm down. Maybe you're only sitting on your fingers. And so, but we've really pinned that right shoulder back. And now we're going to turn our head to its maximum range of movement. How far can you turn your head? And as soon as you find that stoplight, that's where we stop and breathe and feel the twist in our body. Pay attention though, because subtly, sometimes green lights show up. And then there's a deeper move that's available to you, but you got to really pay attention. You don't want to miss it. That shoulder blade opens up and it gives you more freedom to move even deeper into this twist. Think of yourself driving a car and you're trying to check your blind spot here, that you have this freedom of movement. Your body can easily access that. Let's unwind the head. And then the shoulder comes back to neutral. And we're back to our neutral position. Now see if your body needs a reset. So if there's anything you need to do, what if that low back needs to be attended to, that you're going to round through it. And remember, as a backdrop, we've got the belly engaged. We're always keeping that belly toned. Inhale with me up, palms come together. Big inhale, exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale up. Both hands come over now to the left side, and we're going to start rotating one shoulder now, just that back shoulder, rolling back, loosening up. Remember the legs. We want to keep space. The same distance between our ankles is what's between our knees. When you're ready, you're going to roll that shoulder back and sit on your hand, pin it down. Make sure that's really feels very doable to you. You're in a position that works for your back, because a twist certainly affects your back muscles. You might have to pass on this on a given day if you've got something going on in your back. And then we slowly begin the movement of letting our trunk turn, pulling that shoulder back, breathing deeply in and out, following, your body's pathway until it finds that stop sign. We stop, we wait, we breathe. We stay alert in case a green light shows up and gives us even more space, even more expansion. Exhale completely. Do that one more time. Full breath in and a full exhale out. We're going to unwind the head and then the shoulders, coming back to our neutral position. Again, reset your body. Make sure your low back feels well cared for. Pull the belly in real strong. Bring back, I don't know if it's been a long time that I've called it this. We've done different things, but there's a Kundalini, the tradition of Kundalini Yoga is one that I have been exposed to quite a bit. And that has some really awesome breath practices, pranayama. And we're going to do the breath of fire, which is a lot of movement through the belly. So just breathing in a way where your inhale pulls your belly in and your exhale releases it to soft. Just that is great abdominal work. So, but it quickens the pace of your breath. So it's very difficult for me to show you, especially since I chose this particular outfit. That black just doesn't show the movement, but you're pulling your belly in and then you're softening it. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Try this all through your nose if you can. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. My hand is kind of showing you what my belly's doing. Pulling in and out, pulling in and out. It's quick. That's breath of fire. Stay with it. If you have to get your mouth involved, that you're breathing through your nose is just not keeping up, just breathe in a way that allows you to change the tone and maybe try to go back to the nostril breathing. Don't worry about it. You're just participating with this quickening of the breath. Excellent. And then come back to neutral. Think fire, the breath of fire, just think about that as we introduce this now. Inhaling, shrugging the shoulders, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. In, out. I got my mouth involved. I've inhaled nose, exhale the mouth. Inhale the nose, exhale the mouth. That just seems to work. It's a good pattern. Squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. The squeeze is in the belly too. Release it all. Squeeze the belly, squeeze the shoulders, release. Inhale, release. Keep it up. I know you're going to feel this in your belly later. Last time, squeeze, hold, breathe. Release it all. Good. Let's do some shoulder rolls or some movement that just seems absolutely appropriate. Good. Let's practice getting up out of the chair, shall we? Scoot your feet underneath you and just come up to standing. Try not to push yourself off with your hands. If you have to, you do. That's why we got a chair. But if you're working toward building up your core, building up your balance, then try to do this without the use of your hands. Use the chair in any way, though, that works best for you. Coming all the way up till straighten out the legs and then come back. We're going to, of course, you know me today, we're going to add that hovering. So next time you're coming low, let's hover above the chair. Hands are on the thighs. Push into those thighs. Push into those thighs. Lift your chest up. Push into your feet. Push your hands into your thighs. Hover your bottom above that chair. Breathe in and breathe out. Maybe it's a loud breath here. You're shoving your hands into your thighs. Your thighs are so strong. And we're coming up now, all the way up, all the way up. Lift your arms up and overhead. Palms come together up and overhead. Oh, yeah. Breathing in and breathing out. Exhale, hands to the heart. We bow into ourselves. Inhale up. Exhale, go wide with your arms all the way around. Good. We're going to come to a position, what is called tabletop. I'm going to move my block. I don't think there's going to be a reason to use it. So that is close to the chair, to the seat of the chair with your palms down. So the tabletop is that your arms are the table legs, your legs are the table legs, and your back body is the tabletop. So think neutral spine. You're just coming into the place where your neutral curves of your spine, your natural curves of your spine are in place. Full breath in and out. Hands on the chair. Legs are pretty straight. It's not too bad for the hamstrings. We've got the chair to support us. So let's press our heels into the floor so you feel the legs straighten out. The knees are barely bent, if at all. And then you're trying to actually, the thigh bones are called the femur bones. You're stretching those femur bones into the back of your legs. See if you can access that it feels like you've brought your body and mind into connection now, and you can feel your femur bones. You can identify that, and they're stretching back behind you. Awesome. Now we're going to bring the right knee up to try to touch our nose. So we're rounding through the back body. We've lifted our bent knee up, and then we come back to that tabletop. We're switching to the other side. So you're going to alternate nose to knee, back to tabletop. So high knee reaches, kind of comes up. No, you're not going to touch your nose, unlikely, but it's the direction. You're bowing your head down and then drawing your knee up. And we're going to alternate side to side. Find your nice rhythm of breath. As you just alternate from side to side, you're going to round through the back body, pull the belly in like crazy when you're drawing that knee up. One more on each side. So you feel like you're even. Both sides got to do it the same number of times in your back and your tabletop. Now we're going to shift our body weight into our left leg. All of our body weight comes into the left leg, so our right leg can go airborne. So maybe your extended leg, no bend in the knee, is just barely back behind you, not very far off the ground at all. That's excellent. That's a great way to strengthen that standing leg. If you are able, however, to keep extending it so that your extended leg, that stretched out leg back there, could raise to hip height, that'd be awesome too. Turn your toes to point down toward the floor. Kneecap is following that order, down toward the floor. So barely above the floor, that's great. Or that you lift it up, or that you do a little of both. That you give yourself freedom of expression to say, I can extend it once in a while. I can get it up there, but I can't really hold it that long. So find the freedom of expression, all of your body weight and all of now your bones strengthening into that left side. Ankles getting stronger. All the bones of your leg are getting stronger. Excellent. Let's get both feet to the floor. Bend your knees quite a bit, like a little squat, and then come back up. That's a nice reset that I'm using. Now, if there's something else your body wants to do, because you know you need to tend to those resets, find your breath and let your breath, help you identify what your body's looking for. Okay, let's shift all our weight. We're back to our neutral tabletop. All of our weight shifts into the right leg now. And so we can get the left foot to come off the floor. Barely off the floor, just extended back. Chin is tucked, or that we're going to extend that leg hip height. Push through the sole of the foot. Kneecap pointing down, toes pointing down. Or that we do a little bit of both. Sometimes we're barely off the floor, and sometimes we're going for it and lifting it up. All of your body weight now being held and supported in your strong warrior of a right leg. Finish the breath you're on. Both feet are going to come back to the floor. We're going to bend and straighten. And let's come away from the chair seat with our hands. So let your hands, we've got a rounded back body, very rounded, quite a bend in the knee. Chin is dropping down towards your chest, and we're coming up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. You got the chair right there. So to steady yourself, you could always touch the back of the chair, bringing yourself up. All right, and here we are in our mountain pose, palms face forward. Stay with me now. Just stay breathing in and breathing out. Catch up with your breath. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. Don't have to, but it's a beautiful way to touch base again into that internal reflection, that you're bringing your awareness inside again to feel how you're feeling from the inside out. Not to mention that it requires more sensitivity with regard to your balance. You close your eyes and you don't know where you are in space. So you're trusting the strength of your feet, legs, ankles. You're trusting that your body is finding it. And you can, the chair's right here. You can touch it, know that it's right there. And then just stay with it, to just feel your body and mind and soul connect, to find this orientation of your center of gravity. Don't worry about if you're breathing right. You're breathing in a way that's supporting you. You're paying attention to it. It's giving you good feedback. You can't do it wrong. You're allowing yourself to find your center of gravity without the benefit of your eyes helping you see where you are. You're feeling it. Back to the place where your breath is full. There's no short, choppy breaths anymore. You've dropped back into the full breath in and the full breath out. Excellent. Let's flutter the eyes back open. We're coming back to that tabletop. So we're just coming right back close to the chair where our palms are on the chair seat, and our arms become the table legs. Both legs are table legs. The back body is the tabletop. For those of you who want to try this additional challenge, remember now, we can shift our weight into our right leg, into our left leg, letting the right leg come up. Now, see if you can keep your left hand down. I keep doing that. Keep your right palm down so that your left hand can reach out. So you've got a leg lifted up and an arm extended. That's going to be a big stretch for your back body. So if you're needing to make a modification today, not something you probably want to do. But if you're all in, keep yourself hugging toward the midline. So your extended arm is hugging in toward your head. Your extended leg is hugging in toward the middle, toward the other leg, let's say. Full breath in and out. Chin is tucking in, so the back of your head, neck, and spine feel good. Exhale completely as you bring your hand down, your foot back down, and now you're going to reset your body. I got my hips going side to side. Find your breath. Let's set ourselves back up into tabletop. Shifting your weight into your right foot now. Your right leg's going to hold you up. Left leg's going airborne, and it's opposite limbs always. So the left hand stays on the chair so that the right hand is freed up to extend out. Pull in. We want core strength. Pulling in toward the midline. Arm is hugging in toward the head. Thighs are kind of drawing magnetically in toward the same general space. Feel the engagement of the belly. Even if it just feels very slight to you, it's worth it. Pull it in. Find your whole breath now, the fullness of your inhale, the full release of the exhale. Hand comes back to the chair, foot comes back to the floor. Let's wiggle those hips from side to side. Releasing your hands from the chair seat. Let's come up slowly, round through the back body. Knees are very bent. You're coming up slowly, rounding up one vertebrae at a time to our upright position. Back to mountain, palms face forward. Good. Let's bring ourselves back to the chair. So coming back to sit back into the chair. Don't sit into the backrest just yet. Stay forward of that into a mountain pose in a seated position. Palms face forward. Close your eyes, if you will, please, and notice how your perineum, that's the floor of the pelvis, is connected to the chair seat. I want you to close your eyes and just sort of wander around there. So there's just some gentle movements of the pelvis so that you can feel the boniness. That's called the sit bones in the yoga language. The boniness of the bottom, you can feel that on right to left very clearly. There's the pubic bone in the front part that you can kind of reference as you kind of rock forward a bit. And as you rock back a bit, the tailbone shows up. So you can feel the map of the perineum. It's a diamond-shaped map. Sit bones right to left. Pubic bone front, tailbone back. And find that sweet spot now where all of that comes into play and you're somewhere in the middle. Pull the belly in. Inhale with me, eyes are still closed. Palms are going to come together up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. We bow into ourselves. Inhale up. And exhale wide. I'm going to turn to the side. Pardon me a second. so that you can see what I'm talking about. I'm sure you do not have to move, but I want to show you the side view. So we often sync up our breath and come into a new posture with this movement. We're going to do that again. And the movement back is getting our hands behind the back body. I've got interlaced hands pulling back. So the shoulder blades are really squeezing toward each other. And we're going to use that. See if you can bring your palms together. It's pretty easy to get your knuckles to interlace. It's not so easy to squeeze your palms together. So try to squeeze your palms together as much as they will. The butt of your hands are coming together. Now try that fold, bringing your chin in towards your chest, keeping those shoulder blades squeezed together because we've got we've bound our arms like this, and we're bringing our chest down to a halfway point, maybe a little bit further forward than that, and then coming back up. So a couple movements like that. Pay attention to how your neck is feeling. Manage the weight of your head. Keeping your chin kind of drawing in towards your throat is helpful. We're going to release it all because we want to last our final forward fold, releasing your hands now. Release them. Slide your hands right down your legs. Let your chest and belly rest on your thighs. Slide down. Surrender the weight of your head. Look down and underneath yourself. Let's tiptoe our fingertips away from our toes as much as we are able. You maybe like me, you can feel how your kneecaps now have found their way into your armpits. Keep surrendering the weight of the head. You want the crown of the head, the very top of your head, reaching toward the floor. It's not that your face is reaching toward the floor, it's the crown of your head. So you've really got your chin tucked down and under. You're looking down and underneath yourself. Big belly breath. Get your hands closer to your feet now. We're going to slowly, one at a time, bring our hands to our thighs. Squeeze your elbows in towards you so you can bring yourself up halfway, finding that diagonal angle of the back body. Now squeeze any core muscle you can think of. You're trying to imagine that your thighs want to draw toward each other. You're not going to let them, but you feel that action. You're feeling how strong your abdominal wall and the very front body is acting, is engaging. And even by bringing your elbows to your side waist, you feel support through the whole trunk of your body. Excellent. Let's bring ourselves all the way up. Just take a pause. Neutral position. Catch up with your breathing. Maybe your neck needs some help. So you might start moving your head around gently, just gently moving around. And of course, now it's time to start scooting back into the backrest so that we can come into Shavasana. Let your body be supported by that backrest. Don't worry about how your legs are positioned or where your feet are. Let your body just find its own place of relaxation, a place to restore. Feel softness in your feet now. You feel your feet to the ground, but it feels just like home. You're noticing it, and you're welcoming your body into this home base. Relaxing through your whole feet, all of the feet. Let's give that a full breath in and a full breath out as we bring our awareness into our ankles and feet. Gliding our awareness up into the shins and the calves. Full breath in, full breath out. To the knees, our precious knees. Let's give our full awareness now to our knees with a breath in and out. Thighs, front and back. Full breath. Hips and buttocks. Breath in, breath out. Feel the belly soften now. Everything's soft now. Feel the softness of your belly as it raises and falls, rises and falls. For your breath. Soften your shoulders. Full breath in and out for your shoulders. Down through both of your arms, your elbows, your hands. Full breath. Neck. Face. Full head. All of your head and neck. Find that gentle flow now of the breath in and out throughout your whole body. Your whole body is breathing in and breathing out. And we notice how this core strengthening practice has really restored our body to vibrant, healthy. A vibrant and healthy body, strong core, full awareness. Be curious now. Pay attention to your breathing for as long as you can. You might find yourself wandering off because you know you got something to do later. And then be curious about, what if I could just come right back to my breathing? Yeah, there it is. Softness helps. Don't expect anything else now, but softness of the body. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's take a big breath in through the nose. Big breath. Exhale it out of your mouth. This is a sigh. Ah. Eyes are still closed. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale through the nose. Big breath. Exhale it completely out. And there's sound there. Make sure you're adding that. Ah. 1 more. Ah. Gently now, keep your eyes closed, but bring yourself away from the backrest. So you're no longer leaning into the backrest of the chair. Come forward. Layer your hands on top of your heart. So one hand and then the other. Doesn't matter which one's first. Doesn't matter. Hands are layered right on top of the chest bone. We call it, that's the heart center. So it's not directly on top of the organ of the heart, but it's right at the center of the body. This very powerful magnetic field of the heart center. Let's finish with Om Shanti, the chant of Om. It's like the sound of the universe, sound of God, many people would say. And Shanti is the Sanskrit word for peace. So we're calling on, invoking the power of the universe to bring us peace. Peace within and peace all around to the whole world. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. 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 Peace. 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 Palms come up and overhead. Big breath in. Hands to the heart as we bow into ourselves. Inhale up. Exhale, let's share that peace throughout our world. Exhale it out. Palms come together at the heart. We bow into ourselves. Namaste, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.